Hey, what's going on? This is Jeremy. I just wanted to come on today. It's Sunday. It's about 12:42 p.m. On the 10th of November. So what I wanted to do is kind of follow up. I don't think I went into my videos and information. I'm not gonna lie. Some of it's getting like a little. It's starting to run together. Because I've been talking, and yesterday I had like a really good session, just kind of sharing some ideas and whatnot with some some people. We were talking about candle range and like the ability of being patient and waiting for certain setups and things. So I literally, like maybe about 2 3 minutes ago, pulled up this Bitcoin chart just to kind of look and see what had happened from yesterday, because I know we were talking about Bitcoin yesterday. And I kind of wanted to just come on talking about how you don't have to be anxious or whatnot to get into markets. And I know you could say, well, today is Sunday, the market hasn't opened, blah blah blah, right? But here's kind of what I wanted to bring your attention to. So just in the 3 minutes that I came on, I was looking, and I have like my sessions and like certain times that are denoted. Sorry about that. Certain sessions. So I have like a sessions indicator that also denotes like the 8:30 open. So this will let me know like the 8:30 candle, right? So what I did was I said, okay, well if that's 8:30, what was the high and the low before that? So obviously I just put pre 8:30 buy side here. I put 8:30 uh, pre side by the sell side here. Could have put here as well, and it was just kind of like, what's the reaction? So I was expecting this to be delivered to only because it had cleared the low, and it's just cleared through here. But here's the thing, and here's, I guess you could say, like two techniques, or maybe two. I wouldn't necessarily call it a strategy as much as it's probably a little bit more of a bias, right? That it'll kind of give you maybe a directional bias for the short term or for the daily or intraday or whatever have you, right? So what I would look at here is to say, okay, there are two things that are going on, and I wanted to point out real quick, which is you can look at your pre 8:30 buy side and sell side liquidity levels, okay, and on certain days, and I would say that typically if there's not any high impact news, these are sometimes set up so you could look for something within your trading plan that'll allow you to capitalize on these moves, right? So we can talk about this move, but I can also talk to you and share something else with you as well, which might go as well as being like a nugget when it comes to somebody that's interested in candle range theory, or you're just trying to understand like maybe if you can gather some type of an edge or some level of discretion before you take a position. All right. So based on that, we can see obviously, like I said, it's a quarter to one right now. Okay, so here's your 8:30 open. Here's your pre 8:30 buy side. Here's your 8:30 sell side. So you could say, okay, we've already swept out the sell side, and just up to about maybe, like I said, ten minutes ago or so, we had not cleared the buy side. But in some instances, if you're trying to understand order flow and maybe what price is reaching for, if it clears out this sell side, and again, you can use the same pretense for this in most instances, not every, but in most instances, you can use the same pretense for candle range theory when it comes to specific buy side and sell side levels when price is self-contained within a range. Because I don't think anybody would argue that this is actually a high designated as being higher than the two candles on either side, and this is a low clearly designated by the two candles on either side that are higher than it. I don't think that anybody's going to dispute or refute that. That's the first part. The second part is this is a 8:30 open that opens within this high and this low. So conceivably, you could look at this area and say, "I'm in a range." You're in a range. I don't think anybody's going to argue that, right? So the same way that you're looking at this as a range, you could look at it as a candle range, if you will, however you want to describe it or communicate it to yourself. So what would you potentially be looking for? You'd be looking for one side to be run out, right? One side where liquidity is taken, liquidity is swept, or it's souped per se. So here you would have liquidity that is swept or souped this level. And what happens? soups it, closes back inside. It opens, it rejects, it clears again, it soups, it closes inside. This one opens and it just literally just tests this area and then it runs away. It doesn't come back, right? So potentially, if again, and again, I always like to say, and I've been saying this the last several videos, don't believe me, go into your charts, back test it, look at it, forward test it, and just, tape read it if you have to, just to see what comes of it. Okay. But when you get something indicative of this, you could say, okay, that was my pre 830 sell side liquidity has been taken. So what might it be reaching for if it closes back inside? Well, it might very well be reaching and looking for this buy side liquidity. And again, the closure and everything back inside, it does not close below anymore, and it moves back, does some accumulation in here, but it doesn't accumulate and distribute at all. It accumulates and it expands to where? This buy side liquidity point. Now, that could be one position that you're taking within a range after the range has been exposed, or the liquidity has been swept on one side of that range, right? It's exposed on the sell side. Now you're looking at time. This is a time-based thing as well. However, it's time-based based upon the preponderance of your 830 your pre 830 buy side and sell side liquidities, the range that's been put in, where price actually is, right? Once that occurs, once that happens, and once this level is taken, now you can look at, okay, what time did this occur? Well, this actually occurred at, according to this, at 12:35. It is 12:49 right now, Eastern Standard Time. So what's occurred? So it's been an hour and 35 minutes since the 7 a.m. for Bitcoin, at least since the 7 a.m. 4-hour candle closed. So let's go up to the 4-hour really quickly and let's see what happened there, right? Kind of have an idea, which is why I didn't change anything. So here is the 4-hour candle, and I've already marked it out, which is why I wanted to just come in and do this video. So here's your 7 a.m. 4-hour candle. So there's your 7 a.m. 4-hour candle low. I didn't put 7 a.m. 4-hour candle high because, ironically enough, the 830, the pre 830 buy side liquidity at the same place. So I just didn't want it overlapping and not being discernible in terms of what you could read. But here's a clear indication of this being taken out. So now what move do you have? Well, theoretically and technically, from a technical aspect, you don't have a move. You don't have anything to do right now. Now you can just basically wait for this candle to close to tell you and show you exactly what's going on. So because this is a 4-hour candle, this candle is not going to close until 3 p.m. It's 10 minutes to 1 right now. So literally you have like another 2 hours and 10 minutes to just kind of go about your business and do nothing. Or you could wait, I don't know, an hour and a half or whatever it is. But the point of the idea is you could essentially be framing the next directional or the next biased trade in terms of price action and what price is looking to deliver. There are a couple of things that of note, and here are some just to kind of give you an idea. You had a closure back inside this bullish candle, which took liquidity back here on a 4-hour, right? So you had this taken and you had a closure above, which essentially means if you have a closure above after you've taken liquidity, the likelihood is price will continue to run long until it closes back inside, right? Then you had a liquidity sweep here and a closure back inside. So technically we had a soup here, right? We did have a soup. This someone would have looked at and said, oh, well, that's a short. I could take a short. Possibly. Now we have the same thing here, which kind of invalidates this idea to say, okay, there's something else that's being reached for. Well, at this point, Bitcoin is at all-time highs, so it's not necessarily going to come back and trade back in. And as you can see, as we're doing this right now, it's just continuing to just rally and run, right? It's just running at this point. So again, the point and the notion of the video is just to give yourself framework and context before you take positions. Now, honestly and obviously, like if this closes above, we're still looking for buys. You would still be looking for a buy. But there and again, you're going to be looking for a target as to what are you possibly and what are you potentially looking for. So I kind of wanted to just bring this to you guys' attention. You can go from the 4 down to the 15. The 15 is going to break the price action down a little bit more for you. And the fact that the 15-minute time frame shows you that yes, that level has been broken and it's closed above and it has a close back inside. As I've talked about several times, here's the predisposition, and here's what sometimes doesn't get said. I give them like massive credit because they do an outstanding job, especially talking about turtle soups and candle range theory. It's a very simple premise. Once price closes back inside this range, and I'll just denote and designate it as this. I'll just do it this way. That didn't do it. I thought it was gonna do. I don't know what happened there. Huh? I don't know what happened. Well, anyway, once price closes back inside this red horizontal ray and this lower red horizontal ray, once it closes back inside, that's a position that you can take, and you could essentially target the opposing side of the range. It's realistically as simple as that. This, while some people would look at and say, well, it's not giving me an opportunity, it's too far, it's whatever. Here's what I would comfort you on. I'm not going to caution you. This is what I would comfort you on. The fact that we're at all-time highs just essentially means that this is going to rally and it's going to run until it doesn't any longer. And your job, like some would say, well, your job is to kind of figure out when it reverses and you can take that all the way back in. That's not your job. Your job, realistically, if you're trading Bitcoin and you're looking at it, realistically, the only thing that you're looking for is a signature in price, and you don't have to be a seller anywhere up here. You can literally wait until price closes back inside, and you have confirmation. You have your technicals that line up. You've got your trading plan that lines up. Don't know what actually happened there, but apparently we're back. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. I don't like that. So hopefully I didn't lose any of the video, but I was just going to simply say this pink highlighted area, like that's the range that you're waiting for price to get back into, right? Until this area has been closed inside from price, there's nothing for you to do. You can sit on your hands. You can go about your business. You could look at another market. You could do whatever. It doesn't matter. But this was just kind of basically to showcase some ideas where you could be, not really necessarily being a participant, but you could be looking at price and looking at what the delivery is, what the expectation could be, and from a technical standpoint, just looking at what's the order flow showing me, right? What opportunity might I have if I elect or if I choose to get in, right? That's all this was about. So I hope you guys are having a good Sunday. Take care, be safe, be profitable, stick to your rules, stick to your plan, and based on a potential busy week I've got coming up, I probably won't see you guys again until maybe Saturday or next Sunday. But if there's an opportunity during the week, I'll certainly pop in and kind of give you guys my thoughts, my take, or if I'm looking at something. All right. So until then, take care, be safe.